Hello everyone, this will be a quick guide on how to beat Bihyung. This boss focuses around color mechanics. Before you go into the fight, you should distribute the 5 colors among your 5 party members. Red, blue, yellow, purple, and green. As you DPS the boss in the middle, the first mechanic will start. You'll put a color on the altar, and summon a clone with the same color. The person which color was attributed needs to go to the altar, pick up the color, which will give him a buff on the top, like you can see here, and then walk into the colored clone. The clone will then perform an AoE attack and disappear. If you go on the clone area without the right color, you'll get one shot. This mechanic will repeat for each one of the 5 colors, and each time a new party member needs to acquire the color. You don't want the same color on 2 players, as that will make you wipe on the next mechanic. When Bihyung is low HP on the first phase, you'll start a party wipe mechanic. You'll summon all 5 colored clones around himself in a circle, with the area in front of them for players to stand in. Each player needs to go on the circle in front of the clone that matches the color they picked up from the altar. Because I'm the red color, I need to go in front of the red clone. When you see this mechanic, the boss will kneel down and become hittable again. You can DPS him, but be sure to leave the circle, as if you stay inside, you'll take damage over time. If you fail the mechanic, your party will be wiped. Now, for the second phase, there's 3 mechanics the boss will repeat throughout the whole fight. When you see the message, "Death is at your heels," you'll start a new mechanic. You'll summon 5 clones around him in a circle. Each party member needs to go to the correct clone, which will make him perform the AoE, just like it did on the first phase, which will make the clone disappear. If a clone doesn't disappear by the end of the mechanic, it will do a arena-wide AoE, which will one-shot you. You need to PvE iframe it. The next mechanic involves a colorless clone. When you see the message that starts with "Bihyung's gaze falls upon," you need to see which color is mentioned on the message. Bihyung will summon a colorless clone that will explode if it takes too much damage. Anyone around the clone will take damage and go low HP. To pass this mechanic, the player which color was mentioned needs to be low HP until the mechanic expires. To do this, they can either explode the clone on themselves or take damage from the boss purposely. If the player mentioned has 2 high HP at the end of the mechanic, the boss will just perform a one-shot attack on the whole arena. I would like to say that this mechanic is absolutely bugged, and I've seen the party wipe even though the targeted player had really low HP. Just look at this small clip, where I was the one being targeted. And yeah. Finally, the last mechanic has to do with the blue dragon that appears on the wall and on the floor. When you see the message, "The dragon's god energy begins to emanate," you'll see a glowing blue dragon on the wall and the blue circle in front of it. This painting will gather a red aura around itself, and eventually will shoot it into the arena, party wiping everyone, unless you PvE iframe it. To stop this red aura from building up, one player needs to go on the blue circle in front of the wall. This will give them a debuff, like shown here. The player can't go back in the circle or stay in the circle for too long while the debuff is still on their bar, as that will kill them. This mechanic will come and go during the fight. When you see the message "The Dragon's God's Frenzy begins anew," every 15 seconds or so, you'll start charging up the red aura. This will keep happening until you see the next message, which says "The Plague's God's energy clashed with the Dragon's God's, momentarily quelling its frenzy." After you see this message, you don't need to worry about the dragon, because another mechanic is gonna start. At the end of that mechanic, the process will repeat and the dragon will come back.